In this tutorial, we're going to make an animated GIF file. And right now we just open up our example animation.psd file and we're ready to rock and roll. Now what we would first do is go up to Window, up there in our menu items, and we're going to go down to Timeline. Older versions of Photoshop, it'll say Animation, but this is CS6 that I'm using right now, and I'm going to go down to Timeline. When I go down to Timeline, I'll see a frame, and there's frame 1. Alright, now each animation that I want to make a new frame. Now what I could do is just go down here to the bottom, right next to my trash can, and I go ahead and duplicate that first frame into the second frame. And then what I want to do, since it's going to be a countdown, is I'm going to hide the layer with 3 and show the layer with 2. And then I'll go ahead and duplicate it again and go ahead and show layer 1 and show my launch layer. So I can see 3, 2, 1, launch. And then I'm going to make another new layer on my frame, another new frame. And I'm going to go ahead and show my flame. So there's my flame. And then I'm going to make another new layer. And now this time, I'm going to have some movement. So I'm going to highlight my flame and my flame copy. And I'm going to use my move tool over there in my tool panels. And I'm going to pull up my rocket a little bit. And then I'll go ahead and make another new frame. Duplicate that. Zoom it up a little bit. Just bring it up. And I'm going to keep on making slight movements until my rocket is off the screen. Now if I do like move it 2 times and have it off, it's going to go very quickly like a blink of an eye. So I'm going to add several frames, and you can see since the launch there's been several frames, and we'll have the rocket go off. Then I could go down here and hit the play button right down here in my timeline, and I could watch what's going on. So it happens pretty quickly. 1, 2, 3, launch. So I'm going to slow it down some. So during the countdown, I'm going to highlight, click 1, and I'm going to go all the way down to launch and highlight all that. And then right down here is a drop down, right where it says 0.1, which is a tenth of a second, and I'm going to change the delay. And I'm going to make that half a second. So now when I play it, it's going to go a little slower, and then the rocket's going to take off. Now I can even, on my last 4 frames, make them faster and actually have no delay. And then I'm going to test that, and I can see 3, 2, 1, launch. My rocket takes off, and then it'll pick up a little bit of speed at the end. You're not going to see too much of a difference between a tenth of a second to no delay. However, if I had those up a little slower, which I could do that real quick. So let me just highlight those, and let's make those a 20th of a second, and then we should be able to see that delay a little bit. So now we can see a rocket a little slower, and then it takes off a lot faster than it accelerates. After you complete your animation, you're going to go ahead and save it as an animated GIF. And the way to do that is to go up to File, Save for Web. Now in older versions of Photoshop, it says Save for Web and Devices. But on newer versions of Photoshop like CS6, it's going to say Save for Web. Normally, by default, it's going to be in a JPEG image size. However, we want it as a GIF file, so we're going to go ahead and change that to a GIF file. There's a lot of different settings here that we don't have to be concerned about right now, besides the one down here in looping options. So we can make our animation go only play once, or just play forever, or we could do other and put our own custom range that we want this to play. We're going to go ahead and leave it as forever, and we're going to hit save. We'll give it a name, and I normally always tell my students to at least put your name and whatever the file associated with it is called. So we're going to save it as an animated GIF file. We'll go ahead and replace the older version. And now all we have to do is open up one of our web browsers. I'm going to do Chrome. And we're going to go ahead and open the file up to test it to see how it looks and to make sure it looks right. And it's going to work. So we're hitting open, and we can see right here, here's the countdown, here's our rocket takes off. Animated GIFs, they don't have sound, so that's one thing that makes the animation a little bit different. It doesn't have sound, however, you don't need plugins. So this will work on any web browser. This will work on cell phones, this will work on your emails, okay? So animated GIFs, you kind of see them everywhere, okay? Another type of animation you'll see like on the web and stuff like that is Flash. However, you need plugins and stuff like that to make it work. And with Flash, you could also do sound. Okay, so thanks for viewing this tutorial on how to make an animated GIF. And if you need any more help or anything with it, you can go ahead and comment down below on my YouTube page. Alright, thanks a lot.